Boats, boats, boats! Brisbane Yamaha knows boats.
Hi, I'm Aaron, the owner of Brisbane Yamaha, and today's a very special day. I've got two Evolutions, and this one's one of my favourites, and it might end up, well, not this because we sold it at Sanctuary Cove, one of these in my garage. Now, it's a 552 axis, which means it's the centre console. It's actually 6'2" in length, and it's a big boat. It's a beautiful boat. Come over here and have a look, Dan. And what we're going to do with them from now on, we're going to put a T-top on them. A lot of people don't like T-tops because it cuts down the amount of room you can put with your rods and casting and things. But I think this boat with a T-top, and it was sold at the Sanctuary Cove Boat Show with a T-top. Paul McNaught, come over here. Paul McNaught's Brisbane Yamaha's expert on Evolution. He's known him, he talks to him every day, he knows everything about him. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this on the water, and then Paul's going to come back and run you through everything because there's a lot in this boat. And the whole thing about Evolution, hand built. Not with a chopper gun, all hand laid. Right? They are a seriously, all polymer, a serious offshore boat. People talk about the pocket rocket. Well, this is a big boat to be a pocket rocket, but I'd call this a trophy boat, and someone that's into serious fishing, sports fishing, you could take it offshore as far as you want. You could take it to an impoundment. It's a very versatile boat. And this is Paul. And so when you ring up for an Evolution, you ask for Paul, you'll end up with him anyway, and then try and test him out if he doesn't know his stuff, because he does. And Paul will see you after we take this on the water. So hello, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
There you go. We'll see you on the water. Isn't it a beautiful boat? You know, I love to look at the front. So much working area. And everywhere you look, it's just perfection. I've got to tell you, I'm pretty proud of selling these because these are another level and you need to look at them. And now, proof's in the pudding. There's a few beautiful boats, not many as beautiful as this. And don't forget, we can put a T-top. So we turn around, we've got the Yamaha 150 on it. I'll give it a little bit. I trust these hulls. Oh, really? Straight up, 3,000 revs, and it's on the plane. Let's do that again because that stuff doesn't happen. That, I've got to tell you, Paul Junga, who designed this, look at that. I've got trim down, drones on, 2,000, 3,000, and I'm on the plane with nothing. And then if I, and look at that, they're not even wet. They're not even screaming at me. Have a look at that thing. Look at the hull. Now, I suppose they're very heavy hull for the size. And this is a 6 metre boat, 6 metre centre console, and it tracks. There's no trim tabs. It's all just done on the shape of the hull. It's a big, beamy hull, and it tracks. Look at this. Let's see what happens there. Absolutely nothing. Do you see that? Broadside onto that wave, and it just rode over it. Give it a little bit more revs. Gee, it's nimble. It can turn. You'd really chase those sport fish if you were out after them. Or, you know, if you got on the radio and one of your mates said, look, I'm on a bite, I tell you, you'd be there quick. Do over 60 kilometres an hour, and it's just sitting on that wave, spitting it out, and I don't even have to hold. Look, I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio, king of the world. I used to fish with a guy, we used to call him Captain Galoptic, and that's because every time he got on a fish, off he'd go, screaming and shouting at people, you know. Bloody awesome fisherman. Look at it. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of water over, but what boat wouldn't you get a bit of water over with that? But it holds up nice. I tell you, if you're chasing a fish and you're working it, and you had someone up there, they had their feet locked under the side, stand up on a billfish, this is manoeuvrable. You can turn it. It's very nimble, sure-footed, and stable. Let's have a look how stable it is. Let's have a look here, Josh. Gee, it's a big working platform, isn't it? You know, there could be a couple of people up here casting. If you're on tuna, you know, you're on a bait school, You could have 4 or 5 people up here working. I love these. I love this little rail they got here to hook your feet under. Plenty of room. You could sit there on a slow day jigging, still just casting out. That's quite comfortable. Lots of storage. And you know, what would you do? What else would you have with this? I think I'd have a T-top, but I'm not sure. I kind of like that idea of casting around. Good day in Queensland. Probably if I was in Victoria, I'd have the T-top, but you know, you've got to send a console for a reason. Yeah, go there, Dan, and see if you can just have a look how this hull works. Because it is, gee, that was with a whole heap of trim. Did you see that hull then? I took off and I had 5 bars of trim and it's still just come up level. Wow, that's pretty good going, isn't it? And look at that. Across the sea. Woohoo! Look at that. That is a good boat. That is a good boat. It doesn't want to it doesn't want to be guided by the waves. It's just going straight. Look at it turn. Look at it turn. And that 150 Yamaha, I know everyone's sick of me saying how good they are, but that's because they are. I put a little bit of trim on it. Look at that, squirting it out. And Josh is still sitting down. You know, you all right? Yeah. You hurt yourself? He hadn't even hurt himself. That's unusual, going out with me. Round this way, Shag's come over to have a look at it. It knows it's the most beautiful boat in the bay today. Look at that. Look at that. Look how that hull handles. It just doesn't care. It's forgiving. That's what it is. It's very forgiving and it just comes up flat. No mucking around with trim tabs, no mucking around with anything. Have you still got me, Dan? I like it. I like it a lot. I'd have one. You can go, if I lived on the water, I'd have one of these on my back door and after I'd go after work.
This hull is 6.2 overall with 2.49 beam. It's a true 19 footer in the old nautical boating terms. The same as the 600, we've got these big exaggerated chines and they're full length, creating a lot of lift. You know, there's no way the nose is going to get buried with those big chines. There's no way any water's going to come over the side either. These hulls squirt the water out away from the boat. And we've still got that same big shoulder on the boat. If you're talking about true blue water boats, this is standard. You've got to have a massive shoulder to calm the seas. We're sitting the 552 on the Savage trailers. These are custom trailers, custom made in Melbourne. They're fitted under the boats by Savage. That's a full I-beam keel roller trailer. It's got stainless steel brakes as well. The springs and shackles have been upgraded to 2200 kilos. Doesn't need that to carry the load. It's just people that buy this boat are going to be towing it long distance. This trailer is going to get you to the Cape and back without any problems at all. You can just see how wide that transom is. There's a lot of boat goes in the water. Again, those big reverse chines just don't allow the boat to get in trouble on a following sea. A boat like this, you're going to be cruising out estuaries. You're going to be travelling through shallow estuaries and bars. You want a big hull like this to stay up on the plane, and you don't want it to get into trouble in a following sea. Those chines just prevent that from happening. You've got a planing plank underneath as well. Gives you more positive direction, makes the boat a lot more manageable. It's fair to say these boats drive themselves. You can just let the steering wheel go and they'll just keep tracking straight like they're meant to. This is the new 150 Yamaha 4-stroke. Only just released. Yamaha's now incorporating the steering into the engines in the 150s through to 200. That's a hydraulic ram built into the engine, all coming from Yamaha, so less compatibility issues when everything's made with the one system. Everything's raised out of the waterline, so the batteries are raised above the deck. You've got a live bait tank in both sides with the axis and extra large bait tanks, storage underneath as well. plenty of room to store all the bits and pieces that you need. And you've got your flip-flop seat, we call it. So this one, the backrest goes forward or backwards. Underneath the seat, you've got somewhere for the deck wash hose and ankle light by the look of it, but there's plenty of room in there for more tackle, or you could use it for your drinks and sandwiches. This boat has ample console. You can see there's a safety jacket, a safety bag inside there with 4 life jackets inside it, and there's plenty of room still. You know, with the center console, everything's exposed, so the more storage area you've got for your tackle, the better. And on the front of the console, if you just come up the front here, you've got a tackle box in the front, so you can put all your jigs, your hard bodies, your soft plastics, all in there out of the road, but easy to get to when you need them. A big feature of this boat is the size of this cast deck. It's a huge cast deck. If you're travelling and you wanted to lay your swag out, there's more than enough room there with over 2 metres of length, and plenty of room in the beam too. It's almost 2 metres wide there. It's 190 wide. The storage in these, again, with everything foam filled, you've got a massive big esky kill tank there. There's not many fish that won't fit in that one. In the storage on this side, you've got the optional rod locker. You can fit 9 rods in there, rigged and ready, and the rod holders are removable too, so if you wanted to convert it into more storage, you can do that as well. So everything's out of the road. In total, there's 19 rod holders and rod storage areas in this boat. Plenty of fishing rods. The front hatch here, you've got plenty of room to put 3 batteries if you're going to put an electric motor on the front. The bottom of that storage area has all been heavily reinforced, so you can mount either lead acid or lithium batteries. I'll just point out too that all of these hatches are drains, so you're not going to get water inside the storage area. There's drains going all the way to the back to drain down onto the lower floor. This has received a lot of positive comment. This ledge around the side here, you've got a full length side pocket around the cast deck. More room to put your soft plastics, your jig hooks, or you can also use it as a tow hold. If you caught hold of something decent up the front, you've got somewhere to wedge yourself in. On the front, you've got big wide decks, so you can pretty much, if you had to, you can run from one length of the boat to the other along the side decks. If you've ever fished up at Awunga or Monduran, if you're in the tight timber and you've got to get from the front of the boat to the back of the boat in a hurry, that's how you're going to do it. There's a moulded area at the front there to put a sounder. Most sports fishermen have sounders on the front of their boat as well. So everything's been laid out for sports fishing. It's possibly the best multi-species sports fishing boat on the market today.
It gets my vote. If you're looking for an all-round sports boat, something you chase bass, something you go hardcore offshore, play jigs, you chase marlin on this all day, I'm telling you, it is a capable offshore, over 6 metre boat, right? But you could be up a creek one day, you could be up in Arnhem Land. This boat does it all. And if you want to have a look at it, come to Brisbane Yamaha. If you're serious, we'll put you on the water. Why wouldn't we? You know, go and have a ride, then come in this. And I reckon you'll buy one. And I'll save you thousands. See you on the water.